The deafening screams pierced through the usually orderly atmosphere of Seoul's Incheon International Airport at exactly 2:47 p.m. local time, as what started as a routine departure quickly spiraled into what airport officials are now calling the most intense fan gathering we've ever witnessed. But what happened next has left the internet divided, sparked heated debates about celebrity treatment, and raised serious questions about airport security protocols when global superstars are involved. Did airport authorities really have no choice but to whisk Jungkook and Jimin away through a classified VIP route? The answer, according to exclusive eyewitness accounts and leaked security footage, reveals a story far more complex and controversial than anyone initially imagined. Sources close to the situation describe scenes that were borderline dangerous and unlike anything we've prepared for, leading to emergency protocols that haven't been activated since the airport's opening decades ago. The shocking truth about what triggered this unprecedented response will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about celebrity airport appearances. Behind the carefully orchestrated social media posts and official statements lies a web of split-second decisions, emergency communications, and a security operation that cost the airport an estimated $50,000 in overtime, additional personnel, and operational disruptions. But perhaps most surprising of all is what Jungkook and Jimin themselves said about the incident in the moments immediately following their escape through the secret passage. The calm before the storm, a routine Vietnam departure turns into international headlines. What began as a seemingly standard international departure quickly transformed into a situation that would dominate social media trends across 12 countries and force airport management to implement emergency protocols that had never been tested with such intensity. Jungkook and Jimin, both 26-year-old members of the global phenomenon BTS, had reportedly planned a low-key departure to Vietnam for what sources describe as a private schedule that had somehow leaked to fan communities just hours before their flight. The first signs of trouble emerged around noon when airport staff noticed an unusual increase in foot traffic near the international departure gates. What started as small clusters of fans gradually grew into crowds that, according to internal airport communications obtained exclusively by our investigation, numbered over 3,000 people by the time the BTS members arrived. But these weren't just casual fans hoping for a glimpse of their idols. Intelligence gathered from social media monitoring revealed that fan groups from neighboring countries had chartered buses and organized coordinated efforts to converge on Incheon Airport. Messages intercepted from various fan chat rooms showed detailed floor plans of the airport, timing strategies, and even contingency plans for different scenarios. One particularly organized group had assigned specific roles to members, including crowd controllers, live streamers, and buffer zones designed to create optimal conditions for fan interactions. The situation reached a critical tipping point when Jungkook and Jimin's vehicle approached the departure terminal. Eyewitnesses describe a scene that resembled a rock concert venue rather than an international airport. The crowds, which had been relatively contained in designated areas, suddenly surged forward with an intensity that caught even experienced security personnel off guard. "I've worked airport security for 15 years, and I've never seen anything like it," revealed one security official who spoke on condition of anonymity. The sound was incredible. Not just loud, but the kind of sustained screaming that makes your ears ring. And the movement of the crowd, it was like watching a wave crash against the terminal building. Mobile phone footage captured by dozens of witnesses shows the moments when the situation escalated from manageable excitement to genuine security concern. The videos reveal crowds pressing against security barriers with such force that several barricades began to bend under the pressure. Airport personnel can be seen frantically communicating through radio devices, their body language suggesting the implementation of contingency plans that had been discussed but never fully executed. What makes this incident particularly significant is the timing. The departure was scheduled during peak international travel hours, meaning the terminal was already operating at near maximum capacity with regular passengers, families, and business travelers who suddenly found themselves caught in the middle of what could only be described as organized chaos. Inside the emergency response, How airport officials made split-second decisions that changed everything, the sequence of events that led to Jungkook and Jimin's emergency evacuation through classified VIP channels reads like a thriller novel, but according to multiple sources within airport operations, every decision was made with genuine safety concerns at the forefront. Internal communications obtained through our investigation reveal a timeline of escalating alerts and increasingly urgent measures that culminated in the activation of protocols typically reserved for heads of state and diplomatic emergencies. At 2:31 p.m., airport control received the first code yellow alert, indicating elevated crowd activity that required additional monitoring. Within 6 minutes, this had escalated to code orange, signaling the need for immediate intervention and crowd management strategies. But the situation deteriorated so rapidly that by 2:45 p.m., officials had declared a code red emergency, a classification that automatically triggers the most extreme security measures available. The decision to use the VIP route wasn't about giving special treatment, explained a high-ranking airport official who agreed to speak anonymously about the incident. It was about preventing what our crowd dynamics experts were predicting could become a stampede situation. When you have thousands of people in a confined space, all moving toward the same point, the physics become very dangerous very quickly. The classified VIP route, which had previously been used only for emergency evacuations and visits by foreign dignitaries, required approval from 3 separate department heads and the activation of security protocols that cost the airport significant resources. The route itself involves a series of underground tunnels, secured elevators, and restricted access areas that most airport employees have never seen. Security camera footage from the VIP route shows Jungkook and Jimin being escorted by a team of 8 security personnel, including specialized crowd control experts and emergency response coordinators. The 2 BTS members appear calm, but clearly surprised by the intensity of the security operation surrounding them. Audio captured during their transit reveals conversations about their concern for fan safety and their surprise at the scale of the response. "We never expected this many people," Jimin can be heard saying in one segment of the audio. "Are they all safe out there?" Jungkook's response, partially obscured by radio chatter, includes references to previous airport experiences and his worry about fans who had traveled long distances just to see them briefly. The emergency response also involved coordination with local police, who dispatched additional units to manage traffic and crowd control outside the terminal building. Flight schedules for other departures were temporarily adjusted to accommodate the security operation, affecting an estimated 2,400 passengers on 14 different flights. Perhaps most revealing is the post-incident report filed by the airport's security chief, which describes the event as a wake-up call for celebrity transit protocols in the digital age. The report recommends significant changes to how high-profile departures are managed and suggests that the current infrastructure may be inadequate for handling the level of organized fan activity that social media can generate. While airport officials focused on security and crowd control, the thousands of fans who gathered at Incheon Airport had their own experiences and motivations that paint a more complex picture of the day's events. Interviews with fans from multiple countries reveal stories of dedication, disappointment, and genuine concern that challenge simplistic narratives about crazy fan behavior. Sarah Kim, a 19-year-old university student from Busan, had traveled 4 hours by bus with her friends specifically to see Jungkook and Jimin's departure. "We weren't trying to cause problems," she explained during a phone interview 2 days after the incident. "We just wanted to show our support and maybe get a photo. We had no idea there would be so many other people with the same idea." Her experience mirrors that of hundreds of other fans who described careful planning and significant personal expense to attend what they believed would be a brief public appearance. Many had taken time off work or school, coordinated with friends across different cities, and followed social media accounts that track celebrity movements with remarkable precision. The organization level among fan groups was far more sophisticated than casual observers might expect. Multiple fan communities had established communication networks, shared resources for travel and accommodation, and even created informal safety protocols for crowd situations. One group leader, who identified herself only as Luna, described a planning process that began weeks before the confirmed departure date. We monitor flight schedules, work with other fan groups to share information, and always try to be respectful of airport rules, Luna explained. But when word got out that both Jungkook and Jimin would be traveling together, it became much bigger than any of us anticipated. Different fan groups that don't usually coordinate were all showing up at the same time. The emotional investment of these fans becomes clear when hearing their descriptions of the day's events. Many describe feelings of protectiveness toward the BTS members, concern about their comfort and safety, and disappointment at not being able to express their support in the way they had planned. International fans who had traveled even greater distances shared stories that highlight the global reach of BTS's influence. Maria Santos, who flew from the Philippines specifically for this departure, described saving money for months to afford the trip. It wasn't just about seeing them, she said. It was about being part of something bigger, showing that their music means something to people all over the world. However, not all fan accounts align with the narrative of innocent support. Several witnesses described individuals who appeared to be professional photographers or videographers, using equipment that suggested commercial rather than personal purposes. Some fans reported feeling uncomfortable with the intensity of certain groups who seemed more focused on content creation than genuine fandom. The aftermath of the incident has created divisions within fan communities themselves. Some groups are advocating for more organized, respectful approaches to public appearances, while others defend the spontaneous expression of support that has always been part of fan culture. These internal debates reveal the complexity of modern fandom in the age of social media and global connectivity. Behind the scenes, what airport staff really experienced during the crisis. The perspectives of airport employees who worked through the incident provide crucial insights into how quickly a routine celebrity departure can overwhelm even experienced personnel. Interviews with staff members from different departments reveal a coordinated response that was both professional and, in some cases, personally overwhelming for employees who found themselves at the center of an unprecedented situation. James Park, a customer service representative with 8 years of experience at Incheon Airport, described his shift that day as unlike anything in my training. His position at the information desk placed him directly in the path of arriving fans seeking details about departure gates, timing, and access restrictions. The questions started around 11 a.m., Park recalled. At first, it was just a few people asking about flight schedules and terminal maps. But within an hour, I had lines of people asking very specific questions about security procedures, restricted areas, and celebrity protocols. It became clear that this wasn't random curiosity. These fans had done their research. His experience was complicated by language barriers, as fans from multiple countries approached the information desk speaking Korean, English, Japanese, Mandarin, and several other languages. Airport translation services, typically adequate for regular international operations, quickly became overwhelmed by the volume and urgency of requests. Security personnel faced even greater challenges. Officer Chun Wei, who has worked crowd control for major events throughout his career, described the Jungkook and Jimin situation as uniquely difficult due to the combination of confined space, emotional intensity, and the organized nature of the fan gathering. These weren't random people causing disruption, Officer Chin explained. They were organized, they knew the airport layout, and they were communicating with each other in real time. That level of coordination actually makes crowd control more complex, because you're dealing with multiple groups that have different strategies and objectives. The incident also tested the airport's communication systems in unexpected ways. Radio traffic increased by an estimated 400% during the peak crisis period, with departments coordinating responses, requesting additional personnel, and managing the flow of information between different security zones. Several staff members reported communication delays that complicated their ability to respond effectively to rapidly changing conditions. Food service and retail employees in the departure terminal described a surreal experience of serving customers who were primarily focused on phone screens, live streaming, and taking photos rather than typical airport shopping or dining. Sales of phone chargers, portable batteries, and beverages spiked dramatically as fans prepared for extended waiting periods. "We sold more phone accessories in 2 hours than we normally sell in a week," reported Kim Min-jun, a manager at one of the terminal's electronics retailers. "People were buying multiple chargers, asking about Wi-Fi passwords, and trying to find the best spots for phone reception. It was like hosting a technology conference rather than regular retail." The cleaning and maintenance staff faced unique challenges as well. The concentrated presence of thousands of additional people in specific terminal areas created sanitation concerns, increased waste management needs, and wear on facilities that hadn't been designed for such intensive use. Several staff members worked overtime shifts to address these challenges while the incident was still ongoing. Perhaps most significantly, the incident has led to comprehensive reviews of staffing protocols, communication systems, and emergency procedures for future celebrity departures. Internal documents suggest that significant changes are being considered to prevent similar situations from overwhelming airport operations. The Vietnam connection. Why this destination made everything more complicated. The fact that Jungkook and Jimin were departing for Vietnam added layers of complexity to the airport incident that haven't been fully explored in initial media coverage. Vietnam's significance as a destination for BTS members, combined with the timing of their departure and ongoing cultural exchange programs between South Korea and Vietnam, created additional factors that contributed to the intensity of fan interest and media attention. Vietnam has become an increasingly important market for Korean entertainment, with BTS performances and appearances in the country drawing massive audiences and significant media coverage. The announcement of this particular trip, though initially kept private, occurred during a period of heightened cultural exchange between the two countries, including several high-profile collaboration announcements in entertainment, business, and diplomatic sectors. Intelligence gathered from social media monitoring,